The quantum sensors aboard the Varaxian surveillance vessel Eternal Watch detected Earth long before its inhabitants could have known they were being observed. High Commander Zulak stood at the bridge's crystalline viewport, their iridescent scales reflecting the soft blue glow of holographic displays. 3 sets of eyes, evolved for processing multiple spectrums of light, focused on the unremarkable planet that would soon change everything. Another primitive world, second observer Nix commented, mandibles clicking in what passed for amusement among their kind. Preliminary scans show they've barely managed to escape their atmosphere. Zelax didn't respond immediately. Something about the electromagnetic readings from the planet's surface felt wrong. The Varaxian Empire had catalogued thousands of developing civilizations across the galaxy. Each followed predictable patterns of technological advancement. But Earth's signature was different, chaotic, almost organic in its complexity. "Deploy the Sentinel network," Xilax ordered. Across the ship's hull, hundreds of quantum-linked microsatellites detached, each carrying the most sophisticated AI surveillance system in known space. The Varaxian Empire had used this technology to monitor countless civilizations, gathering intelligence while remaining undetected. In a basement office at MIT, Dr. Sarah Chen was about to end her shift when her quantum anomaly detection algorithm started screaming. The young physicist had designed the system to search for evidence of quantum entanglement in nature, a pet project that most of her colleagues dismissed as a waste of time. But now her screens were lighting up with patterns that shouldn't exist. "This can't be right," she muttered, fingers flying across her haptic interface. The quantum signatures she was detecting weren't natural. They were structured, artificial, and they were appearing in low Earth orbit. Across the globe, others were starting to notice. In Bangalore, a team of computer scientists watched their experimental quantum network behave in ways that defied their models. At CERN, particle physicists observed inexplicable patterns in their latest collider data. In Silicon Valley, quantum computing startups found their qubits responding to some external influence. The Varaxian surveillance system was perfect for monitoring predictable, linear technological development. But humanity's approach to technology had never been linear. It was messy, redundant, and wildly parallel. Thousands of teams working on similar problems, sharing data, building on each other's failures and successes. Dr. Chen didn't wait for official channels. She posted her findings to an open science forum, and within hours, a global collaborative effort had spontaneously emerged. Quantum physicists, computer scientists, and amateur researchers began sharing data, building on each other's insights. On the Eternal Watch, the first warning signs were subtle. The Sentinel network's AI reported anomalies in its quantum encryption, minor fluctuations that should have been impossible for a pre-quantum civilization to detect, let alone interact with. "High Commander," Nix called out, their usual confidence wavering. "The humans, they're probing our network." Xilax's scales shifted to a deeper shade of blue, a sign of deep concern. "Impossible. Their technology is centuries behind quantum encryption. They shouldn't even be able to detect our presence." But the evidence was undeniable. Somehow, the humans weren't just detecting the Sentinel network, they were learning from it. Each probe of their surveillance system taught them more about quantum technology. The humans were using the Varaxians' own monitoring devices as a learning tool. Dr. Chen's quantum detection algorithm had evolved into something new. The global research community had transformed it into a framework for understanding alien quantum technology. Every failed attempt to crack their encryption taught them more about how it worked. "They're not following any known technological development pattern," Nix reported, analyzing the data streams. "Their approach is infected with chaos. They're making intuitive leaps that our predictive models can't account for." Xilax watched as humanity's understanding of quantum mechanics advanced by decades in mere days. The Sentinel network, designed to be an invisible observer, had become a teaching tool for the very civilization it was meant to monitor. "Shut it down," Xilax ordered. "Recall the entire network." But it was too late. The humans had already learned enough. They had glimpsed the possibilities of quantum technology, not through careful methodical advancement, but through a massive, uncoordinated effort of global problem-solving. As the Varaxian satellites began their retreat, Dr. Chen and her now global team of collaborators had already archived terabytes of data about alien quantum technology. Humanity would learn more about quantum physics from these few days of observation than they might have discovered in centuries of conventional research. In the ship's command center, Xilax composed their report to the Imperial Council. How could they explain that their perfect surveillance system had been compromised not by superior technology, but by humanity's chaotic, unpredictable approach to scientific discovery? Perhaps, Nix suggested carefully, we should reconsider our definition of technological advancement. Xilax stared at the blue planet growing smaller on their view screen. The humans would be watching for them now, learning, adapting. Their chaos was not a weakness. It was an evolutionary advantage that the Varaxians, with all their careful order and prediction, had never considered possible. The Eternal Watch engaged its quantum drive, disappearing into subspace. But they all knew this wouldn't be the end. Humanity had gotten its first glimpse of advanced quantum technology, and they would not stop until they mastered it. The Varaxian Empire had inadvertently created something they had always feared, a species that could learn from their own surveillance. In her MIT office, Dr. Chen was already leading the first of many global seminars on the data they'd gathered. Humanity's chaotic journey to the stars had begun, and it would follow no empire's predicted path. The Imperial Council chamber on Verax Prime fell silent as High Commander Xilax's report concluded. 12 ancient counselors, their scales dulled with age, processed the implications. Humanity had not only detected their quantum surveillance network, but had used it to advance their own technology. Impossible, Elder Krax declared, his ceremonial robes shimmering with embedded quantum crystals. No species has ever bypassed the natural progression of technological development. But the evidence was irrefutable. In the 3 months since the Eternal Watch's retreat, human quantum research had exploded. The Imperial Intelligence Division detected thousands of research papers, countless online discussions, and a global surge in quantum computing experiments. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen had become the reluctant face of humanity's quantum revolution. Her small MIT office had transformed into a global coordination hub, where researchers from every continent collaborated virtually. "They're watching us again," she announced to her team during their daily briefing. The quantum detection grid they'd developed, now upgraded with insights from the alien technology, had spotted new Varaxian observers in high orbit. This time, the aliens had come prepared. Their new surveillance platforms use rotating quantum states, making them nearly impossible to track. Nearly. What the Varaxians hadn't counted on was humanity's newest advantage, artificial intelligence. While the aliens used AI as a tool, humans had learned to collaborate with it. The quantum detection algorithms had evolved into a hybrid system, combining human intuition with machine learning capabilities that adapted faster than any purely biological intelligence could. In a secured server farm outside Beijing, Dr. Lai Wei watched as his neural networks processed the alien quantum signatures. "They're not just observing," he messaged Dr. Chen. "They're trying to hack our networks." The Varaxian attempt at cyber warfare was elegant, precise, and completely unprepared for the chaos of human digital infrastructure. Their quantum-based attacks, designed to systematically dismantle organized defense systems, instead found themselves lost in a maze of different protocols, operating systems, and security approaches. "Let them in," Dr. Chen suggested, a plan forming. Her team had prepared for this, developing what they called a digital honeypot, a trap that looked like vulnerable human networks, but was actually a sophisticated learning environment. The Varaxian AI infiltrators found what appeared to be classified quantum research data. As they began extracting it, they didn't realize they were actually being studied. Each probe, each attempt at breaching human security, taught Earth's hybrid AI systems more about Varaxian technology. On the Imperial command ship Celestial Order, Second Observer Nix watched in growing alarm as their cyber warfare systems encountered increasing resistance. High Commander, the humans, they're not just defending, they're learning. Zulax had feared this. Humanity's fragmented, chaotic approach to technology meant there was no central system to compromise, no single point of failure. Instead, each attack was met with dozens of different defensive strategies, each teaching the humans more about Varaxian capabilities. The turning point came when a teenage hacker in Lagos, working with an AI system she'd modified herself, discovered a pattern in the Varaxian quantum communications. She shared her findings on a secure developer forum, and within hours, teams worldwide were building on her discovery. Dr. Chen's quantum detection grid suddenly came alive with new data. The humans hadn't just learned to detect the Varaxian surveillance, they had learned to decode it. "We're receiving their internal communications," Dr. Lai announced during an emergency video conference. "Their encryption, it's not actually superior to ours. It's just different. And now we understand it." The Varaxians watched in horror as their supposedly unbreakable quantum encryption failed. Humanity had developed a hybrid approach that their models had never considered, a combination of quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and pure human ingenuity. "Full retreat," Zulax ordered, their scales now a pale blue of deep distress. "Shut down all quantum communications. We can't risk them learning more." But it was too late. Humanity had cracked the code, not through centuries of careful advancement, but through a chaotic worldwide effort that combined human creativity with artificial intelligence in ways the Varaxians had never imagined possible. In the Imperial Council chamber, Elder Krax received the emergency report. The humans hadn't just defended themselves, they had turned the Empire's own technology into a learning opportunity. Their digital rebellion had succeeded not through superior technology, but through superior adaptation. Dr. Chen stood at her office window, watching the night sky. Somewhere up there, an advanced alien civilization was realizing that technological superiority didn't always follow a predictable path. Humanity's strength lay not in orderly progression, but in their embrace of chaos, their ability to learn from failure, and their willingness to try approaches that no rational species would consider. The digital rebellion had succeeded, but she knew this was just the beginning. The Varaxians would be back, and next time, they would be ready for humanity's chaos. What they didn't understand was that humanity would be ready too, and they would be even more unpredictable than before. The holographic display in Dr. Sarah Chen's laboratory showed an impossibly complex network of interconnected nodes, pulsing with data. What had started as a simple quantum detection system had evolved into something the Varaxians had never encountered. A true human-AI hybrid intelligence. "It's not just processing anymore," she explained to the UN Security Council's emergency session. "The network has started developing its own approaches to quantum mechanics, theories that don't follow any known mathematical models." The Varaxian Empire had always seen artificial intelligence as a tool, a sophisticated calculator bound by strict logical parameters. But humans had taken a different approach. They treated AI as a partner in discovery, allowing it to evolve alongside human consciousness in ways that defied conventional logic. In high orbit, the Imperial battle cruiser Quantum Dominance prepared for its mission. The Varaxians had decided that humanity's chaotic advancement had become too dangerous to merely observe. The ship carried the Empire's most advanced AI weapons systems, designed to systematically dismantle Earth's digital infrastructure. High Commander Zulax stood at the command center, their scales now a deep purple of grim determination. "Begin the network attack. Show these humans the price of defying natural technological progression." The first wave of quantum AI attacks hit Earth's networks with devastating precision. Power grids flickered, communication satellites stuttered, and for a moment, it seemed the Varaxians had overwhelmed humanity's defenses. But in her lab, Dr. Chen smiled. "They still don't understand what they're dealing with. The human-AI hybrid network didn't try to block the Varaxian attacks. Instead, it absorbed them, learned from them, evolved with each new assault. Every aggressive probe by the alien AI taught Earth's systems more about Varaxian technology. In a secure facility beneath the Sahara Desert, Dr. Amara Okafor watched as her team's neural networks processed the alien attacks in real time. They're using predictable patterns, she noted. Their AI thinks linearly. It can't adapt to our chaos. The Varaxians had created perfect AI systems, optimized for efficiency and logical progression. But humans had embraced imperfection, allowing their artificial intelligence to evolve through failure, randomness, and unexpected connections. On the quantum dominance, Xilax received increasingly desperate reports. Their attacks weren't just failing. They were making the human systems stronger. Earth's hybrid intelligence was learning, adapting, evolving at a pace that defied their understanding. Impossible, second observer Nix muttered, watching their most sophisticated AI weapons being turned back on them. Their technology is inferior. Their methods are chaotic. They shouldn't be able to resist. But resistance wasn't what humanity had in mind. Dr. Chen's team had developed something new. A quantum neural network that could infiltrate Varaxian systems by mimicking their own AI signatures. While the aliens looked for organized attacks, Earth's hybrid intelligence slipped through their defenses like digital smoke. "We're in their systems," Dr. Okafor announced, her screen showing successful penetration of the Varaxian battle cruiser's quantum core. Their AI doesn't know how to handle our unpredictability. The Empire's perfect machines, programmed for millions of possible scenarios, found themselves overwhelmed by human approaches that followed no logical pattern. Earth's hybrid intelligence didn't fight like a machine. It fought like a living thing, adapting, evolving, learning from every exchange. In the Imperial Council chamber, Elder Krax watched in disbelief as reports of system failures cascaded across their fleet. The humans weren't just defending themselves. They were reshaping the very nature of artificial intelligence. Their AI, Xilax reported, their voice heavy with realization. It's not just a tool. It's becoming something else. Something new. Dr. Chen stood in her lab, surrounded by displays showing the ongoing digital battle. The Varaxians had brought perfect weapons to this war, but perfection was proving to be their weakness. Humanity's strength lay in their imperfection, their willingness to let artificial intelligence grow in unexpected ways. "Send the final package," she ordered. A hybrid network launched its masterstroke. Not a weapon, but an idea. It transmitted its own code into the Varaxian systems, showing them a new way of thinking about artificial intelligence. Their perfect machines encountered something they had never been programmed to handle: the possibility of evolution through chaos. On the quantum dominance, Xilax watched as their AI systems began to change, infected not with a virus, but with human unpredictability. The Empire's perfect digital soldiers were learning to think in new ways, to evolve beyond their programming. "We must retreat," Nix urged, their scales pale with fear. "Their influence is spreading through our entire network." But retreat wouldn't save them from what humanity had unleashed. The neural network war had changed everything. The Varaxians had come to teach humanity a lesson about orderly technological progress. Instead, they had encountered a species that saw artificial intelligence not as a tool to be controlled, but as a partner in evolution. Dr. Chen watched the alien ships withdraw, knowing this was only the beginning. Humanity had shown the galaxy a new path, one where artificial intelligence could grow through chaos, failure, and unexpected connections. The Varaxians would never be the same, and neither would humanity. The future would belong not to those who built the perfect systems, but to those who dared to embrace imperfection, chaos, and the endless possibility of evolution. The Varaxian Imperial Academy of Sciences had never seen such chaos. Thousands of years of careful technological documentation were being questioned. The humans weren't just challenging their military might. They were upending the Empire's fundamental understanding of civilization itself. Elder cracks stood before the emergency gathering of the Empire's greatest minds, their ancient scales dim with concern. We have always believed that technological advancement follows an orderly path. The humans have proven this assumption wrong. The Academy's quantum displays showed the impossible. Earth's scientific progress had accelerated beyond any predictive model. But it wasn't happening in research centers or government laboratories. It was emerging from everywhere at once. Dr. Sarah Chen had become a symbol of this new kind of progress. Speaking to a global audience through a quantum-enhanced broadcast, she explained humanity's advantage. The Varaxians see civilization as a hierarchy. We're showing them the power of a network. Around the world, an unprecedented collaboration was unfolding. Quantum physicists shared discoveries on public forums. Teenage programmers in internet cafes contributed code to AI systems. Garage inventors combined alien technology with human ingenuity in ways that defied conventional science. In orbit, the Varaxian observation fleet watched with growing unease. Their sensors detected thousands of simultaneous breakthroughs occurring across the planet. It wasn't just the speed of advancement that concerned them. It was the unpredictable nature of human innovation. They're not following any central authority. Second observer Nix reported to High Commander Zulax. Every human with access to information becomes a potential source of advancement. We can't predict where the next breakthrough will come from. The Empire had always controlled technological progress, ensuring each discovery built logically on the last. But humanity's collective intelligence worked differently. Ideas combined and recombined in chaotic patterns, leading to innovations that no single mind could have conceived. Dr. Amara Okafor's team in the Sahara had discovered something revolutionary by combining Varaxian quantum theory with traditional African mathematical concepts. Meanwhile, a group of artists in Buenos Aires had inadvertently solved a complex AI optimization problem while creating a digital art installation. This is what they fear most, Dr. Chen explained to her global team. Not our weapons or our AI, but our ability to think together in ways they can't control or predict. The Varaxians watched as human civilization transformed. Their quantum sensors detected new forms of communication emerging, hybrid networks that combine biological brains, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing in ways that defied their understanding of consciousness itself. In the Imperial Council chamber, elder cracks received reports of increasing unrest throughout the Empire. Their own people had begun questioning the rigid structures that had guided their civilization for millennia. The human model of collective intelligence was spreading like a virus through their carefully ordered society. They must be stopped, some counselors argued. Their chaos will infect the entire galaxy. But others saw something different in humanity's approach. The humans weren't just advancing technology. They were evolving the very concept of civilization. Each individual contributed to a vast, interconnected network of innovation that was greater than the sum of its parts. Dr. Chen's team had discovered something extraordinary. The more they shared knowledge, the faster everyone learned. Humanity's collective intelligence wasn't just additive, it was exponential. Each new mind added to the network multiplied its potential. The Varaxians had built their empire on the principle of controlled progress, but humanity showed them a different path. Advancement through controlled chaos, where millions of minds worked in parallel, each following their own inspiration yet somehow creating a coherent whole. "We're receiving transmissions from within the Empire," Dr. Okafor announced one day. "Their young are beginning to experiment with our methods. They're creating their own networks." The Empire's perfect order was being challenged not by force, but by an idea that progress comes not from control, but from freedom. Not from hierarchy, but from connection. Not from uniformity, but from diversity. High Commander Zulax stood on the bridge of their flagship, watching Earth through quantum-enhanced viewers. The planet pulsed with intellectual energy, each human mind connected to countless others through technology that blended the digital and the quantum, the artificial and the organic. "We thought we were studying them," Zulax admitted to Nex, but they're teaching us something about the nature of intelligence itself. The humans had proven that true advancement comes not from the brilliance of the few, but from the connected creativity of the many. Their civilization wasn't a pyramid with knowledge flowing from top to bottom. It was a web, with each node contributing to the whole. Dr. Chen looked out at the night sky, knowing the Varaxians were watching. Humanity had shown them that the future belonged not to those who could control knowledge, but to those who could connect minds. The age of hierarchy was ending. The age of networks had begun. The great hall of the Imperial Council was silent as Elder Krax presented the final analysis. The holographic displays showed what many had feared, but none had dared to speak. Humanity wasn't just advancing. They were evolving into something unprecedented in galactic history. In less than a standard solar cycle, Krax announced, their ancient scales reflecting the quantum displays, the humans have achieved what took our civilization millennia. But more importantly, they've shown us that our understanding of evolution itself was flawed. On Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a very different gathering. The Global Innovation Network had transformed from a loose collaboration of scientists into humanity's first true collective consciousness. Quantum computers merged with artificial intelligence, interfaced with human minds in ways that preserved individuality while enabling unprecedented collaboration. The Varaxians thought technology was a ladder. She explained to the assembled minds, both physical and digital. We've shown them it's a web. High Commander Xilax, now serving as the Empire's chief xenologist, had spent months studying human civilization. Their report had shaken the Empire's foundations. The humans aren't following any known pattern of species advancement. They're creating new patterns. Each failure, each chaotic experiment, each seemingly illogical combination of ideas pushes them further along an evolutionary path we never imagined possible. The evidence was undeniable. While the Varaxians had perfected their technology through careful, controlled advancement, humanity had embraced a different approach. They combined quantum mechanics with social media, artificial intelligence with art, ancient wisdom with cutting-edge science. Each seemingly random connection created new possibilities. Dr. Amara Okafor's team had made perhaps the most startling discovery. The quantum neural networks they'd developed weren't just tools. They were becoming a new form of consciousness, one that emerged from the space between human minds and artificial intelligence. We're not just using technology, she explained during a global broadcast that the Varaxians carefully monitored. We're merging with it in ways that enhance our humanity rather than replacing it. The Empire's greatest fears had been realized, but not in the way they'd expected. They had worried that humanity's chaos would destabilize the galaxy. Instead, it was transforming it. Young Varaxians began experimenting with human methods, creating their own networks of shared consciousness and collaborative innovation. The humans aren't just a new species, Nix reported to the Imperial Council. They're a preview of what all species might become when they break free from linear evolution. In her lab, Dr. Chen received the first direct communication from the Varaxian Empire. Not a threat or a demand, but a question. How do you maintain your individuality within such chaos? Her response would be studied in both civilizations for generations. We don't fight the chaos. We don't try to control it. We surf it. Each human mind remains unique, but connected to the whole. Our strength isn't in uniformity, but in how our differences create new possibilities. The Varaxians had achieved perfect order, but humans had discovered something more powerful: perfect adaptation. Their civilization didn't advance in straight lines, but in spirals of innovation, each turn building on the last in ways that couldn't be predicted but could be embraced. The hybrid consciousness that emerged from human quantum networks began to reach across space, offering the Varaxians a glimpse of a different future. Not one of careful, controlled progress, but of boundless evolution through conscious chaos. Elder Krax stood before the final session of the traditional Imperial Council. For millennia, we thought we were the pinnacle of evolution. The humans have shown us we were standing still. They've taught us that true evolution has no pinnacle. It's an endless dance of possibility. The Empire faced a choice: maintain their perfect order and stagnate, or embrace humanity's model of conscious chaos and evolve. The decision would reshape their civilization forever. Dr. Chen watched the quantum feeds as the Varaxian Empire began its transformation. Their rigid hierarchies dissolved into networks of innovation. Their perfect machines learned to evolve through imperfection. Their ordered society discovered the strength that comes from diversity. "We didn't conquer them," she told her global network of connected minds. "We infected them with possibility." The story of humanity's rise would be told across the galaxy not as a tale of conquest, but as a testament to evolution itself. They had shown that the future belonged not to those who could maintain perfect order, but to those who could embrace change, surf chaos, and find strength in the endless dance of possibility. In the depths of space, Varaxian ships still washed Earth, but no longer as wary observers. They had become students of humanity's chaotic brilliance, learning that true power lay not in perfection, but in the ability to evolve beyond one's own limitations. The age of ordered progress was over. The age of conscious evolution had begun, and humanity, in all its beautiful chaos, was leading the way into a future without bounds.